I was thinking, I like the way you separate the Eightfold Path into the three categories, that slide where you have the three interconnecting sphere. I used to go to a Protestant school, so I was brought up studying the Bible, and so of course nowadays I don't have the time anymore. So instead, I would study the Bible using Google. Whenever I have a question, I would say, well, what does the Bible have to say about that? And I typed it in, and I say, okay, well, that's a good way. And so that's a very selective way of studying the Bible. But recently, actually not recently, but for a while, at the end of the practice, Saturday practice, or even at the nightly, evening practice, I would say to the student, let us all be blessed with health, happiness, and peace. So the other day, I decided that I wanted to find out what the Bible have to say about peace. And so I searched and said, what does the Bible have to say about peace? And it turns out that there's a very famous verse in one of the book, and it says, may peace be with you, and may peace be within you. So then, when I was looking at the way you were describing the Eightfold Path, where you separate the morality, or sometimes in the West we don't like to use the word morality, but let's say principle, and then the other part where is the concentration, which is really the practice. I'm thinking of that part of the Bible, which is peace would be with you and peace be within you. Because if you look at the morality, the principle part, it talks about speech, action, and livelihood. So a lot of our suffering, a lot of disappointment in life has to do with the people around us. And sometimes they're friends, sometimes they're workers, sometimes they're family. They tend to be very toxic because of the action of the speech and of the livelihood. And so in a way, that part of the practice is allow you to be with peace. If you practice the right speech, the right action, the right livelihood, then you yourself would not be a toxic person, and over time you would avoid the toxic people, or that the toxic people would avoid you, right? So we talk about, for example, attachment. I see more people attached to suffering than they are to attach to enjoyment, to happiness. People actually are attached to suffering. They like to get together and bitch, so excuse my language, and complain and be negative. They're attached to that because they themselves are toxic, and so therefore they're surrounded with toxic people.
Correct. Because when they let that go, they wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean,
there's nothing to
in the
complain
prison.
about.
In the prison is like that, right? The violence and the fear and is the survival language. So I think you can look at the Eightfold Path and just say, look at the part where we talk about the morality or / principle, which is the way you conduct yourself as a way of attaining peace be with you. And then whereas the concentration part, which is really the practice, which is mindfulness, I use the word anchor. Anchor your mind on your breath, anchor your mind on your body, anchor your mind. There are so many different ways that you can anchor your mind, and that's really what mindfulness is. And so that way, you're starting to a path of really understanding, examining your own emotion, right? And then the right effort is when you actually start to understand your thoughts, and you understand that some thoughts are wholesome, they're good for you, they're skillful, they're kusala, and some thoughts are not good for you. The hatred, the jealousy, and all that, they're not good for you. They're not good for anyone. Whereas the compassion, the loving kindness, the empathy, they're good for you and everyone else, right? So once you anchor your mind, you calm yourself, you're able to examine, you develop ability to use your body and your breath as a intelligence into your mind, then you can practice the right effort, and then ultimately get to the right samadhi, which is what we call the concept. So that's peace. Peace be within you.